Nataka vita. Okay, hi, the song I'm going to sing inaitwa Natafuta. Basically, tafuta mapenzi. Yeah. Natafuta wakunipenda mimi, nimechoka na penzi la uongo na sijui kama nitapenda tena. Niliyempenda ameniponza na subiri pengine Mungu ataleta atakayenipenda, atakayenipenda, atakayenipenda. Maumivu nimeyapata, sasa naishi na mengi fikira, mazoea yana tabu, umpendaye atakuponza. Mambo mengi hutokea, sikujua yangenifikia. Visa vingi hutendeka, sikujua yangenitokea. Fikiria kama umpendaye, hata yeye akupenda hivyo hivyo. Natafuta wakunipenda mimi, nimechoka na penzi la uongo na sijui kama nitapenda tena. Niliyempenda ameniponza na subiri pengine Mungu ataleta atakayenipenda, atakayenipenda, atakayenipenda. Natafuta wakunipenda mimi, nimechoka na penzi la uongo na sijui kama nitapenda tena. Niliyempenda ameniponza na subiri pengine Mungu ataleta atakayenipenda, atakayenipenda, atakayenipenda. I'm just Kidawa. I'm an artistic person. My friends say I'm multi-talented or multi-skilled because, yeah, someone who's just trying to make it through life. I do a lot. So I have people who know me as a cinematographer, who knows Kidawa the cinematographer, and there are friends who know me as Kidawa the vocalist. So I think I can say I'm a singer-cinematographer, vocalist. I paint, I dance, I do crafts, I act sometimes. Yes, I think, and many other things. I think I tend to tell myself they are all art. So when I'm not singing, I am dancing, or I am singing and dancing. When I am not performing, I am crafting, or I am taking photos or shooting films. So like I think for me, I take them like one side, because even in film, we do music production for the films. But I think every skill with its own time. So I balance. I think I know. I grew up singing, so I grew up in a musical background. So my dad has always exposed me to various music. I listened to jazz when I was as little as 2 years. I've been listening to Bob Marley. Like, he's been exposing me to so many, and he used to tag me along to his gigs. So as early as 2, I was tagging with my dad to his gigs, and my aunt. Sometime later, their last born, my aunt. I don't know if you guys know her. She's called Tatu. So she was staying with us at the time, and she used to sing. So she was singing with my dad, and they were doing like the Safaricom something live. Yeah, Kitambo was so small. Yeah, the Safaricom, not the jazz, the live, the one that had Kina Saizate, Kina Nameless, Kina Nini, Camp Mula, yes. So she used to like do vocals, and every time she used to come home singing, we would sing together, and my dad would have rehearsals at home. And then my aunt also, when I go to visit my aunt in Voi, we are singing, my cousins and I are singing. So I guess singing has always been there. Dancing I can say, I didn't know I could dance until I was in, I guess, high school. When I entered Form 1, and I just danced one day, and people were like, you can actually dance. So you joined the journalism club. So I joined, and yeah. Crafts, I've always been making things. Ever since I was in primary, I've always been making my dad cards, and my mom and I love you, Dad, with some funny things. So I guess as I grew up, the skill got better. But during Corona, the Corona period, when we were all at home and now we didn't know what to do, I invested in papers, like the different types of papers, and I started making greeting cards. And that's when I actually realized I could actually do this like well. So I can say during Corona is where I knew I could do something that's not dancing and not singing and not. For film, when I was in high school, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. I just wanted to do the camera. I wanted to do performing arts. So I didn't even fill those forms where people choose. I remember after KCSE, after we have gone home like 1 week in, my teacher is calling me, Kidawa, you never filled in the forms. Can you just work on it? And I'm like, now what am I feeling? Because I'm looking for something that's not in the list. Then one day my dad just told me, there's a school, I've seen they're offering performing arts. Do you want to go check it out? So I went, and I wanted to do camera work. But I joined in like 2 weeks in, and I realized it's actually not, you don't only study camera, there's so much things in. And I got interested in everything. So I can basically do everything in film, but I like to specialize in script writing and cinematography. So I guess that's how zimepangana. My dad, there was a point that it was just me and my dad when I was around 2-3 years, if I'm not wrong. So like since I was like 2-3 years, that period it was just me and my dad. And I guess there was nowhere to leave me. So we used to go with him. And I remember there's this time he had a regular gig at Village Market, and it was on a weekend, and it was so late. Kulikuwa na ile van yenye inabebanga instruments nini. So since it was late, like during the afternoons, I would just play around there with everyone, and then when it got at night, I was sleepy. Of course, I was little, so he took me to the van, and then I slept. And then I remember I woke up terrified because ilikuwa kwa parking and it was dark. So I started screaming, nikigonga like the dirisha, and there's this like watch guard. I was like 3. I think I was 3. I started talking early. That's what my dad says. I was just a troublesome kid. I told him I wanted my dad. And he asked me, who is your dad? So he's singing, he's there singing. So he went, and someone came and picked me up. If I'm not wrong, it was Achiko the model. You know her. I think it's Achiko who came and picked me, and then she bought me marshmallows. And then now I refuse to go back to the van because now I've woken up. You know, I was taken to the van when I was asleep, so now I can't go because it's dark. So what they did, there was a, I think Kitambo, the boxes, the guitar were being carried in boxes. Kulikuwa na box, literally a box. So I stayed, I told my dad I'll stay here. So like hapo nyuma kwa stage, I sat in the box, ikafunguliwa. Then I slept. Then I woke up in the middle of a performance and I was causing tantrums and everyone was like, who's that kid there? So that's the one thing I remember a lot. But I also remember a lot of people coming at home. We used to live in Langata, Otiende Estate. I remember monkeys and lookwards. So a lot of people used to come in. I remember Waire, because he was so tall. I used to think he's so tall, so I can't forget him. Yeah, those are the things I remember. So I guess I've always been singing. But after that incident, I told my dad I wanted to go to school. I was 2. I'm telling you, I was talking because I was around people who are talking. So I know it's weird, but if you see some videos and photos, I can say my childhood was the best. I cannot complain because my grandfather, my late grandfather, used to play. He was an amazing guitarist. And I remember Dad used to tell me he used to play at Sabasaba Club in Mombasa. So, and he used to tell my dad, music is the inheritance that I have given you that no one can take away. So like music is the only thing that people cannot take away from you. So it's been interesting because I've tagged along my dad a lot. So I have met so many people, listened to so much music. Until date, when someone asks me, what will you specialize in? I don't know what to say because I have listened to a lot of music and I feel like everything is just so beautiful. But I remember when I finished class 8, before I waited for my calling letter, I went for a vocal class, a whole session with Helen Tawali. So Helen Tawali took me through vocals for some time before I joined high school. Someone else that I can say has also helped me out is apart from my dad, of course, my aunts, my aunt Mwanaisha and my aunt Tatu. They've always just told me, sing, sing, sing. And I had a music teacher in primary called Teacher Isaac. I do not know where he is right now, but he's the person who actually made me sing. I have been in that school since I was in pre-unit, but I sang in front of a whole school when I was in class 8 because of Teacher Isaac. I guess that's the time everyone got to know that this girl sings. I was just singing in class, and I remember my teacher in class 4, she was called Stella, used to call me to sing she used to teach our class and class 8. So during her English class, the first 5 minutes were for music. So she used to say, go call Kidawa to come and sing. My mom is Taita. Everyone knows like our family is from Coast. So, but I have never grown up in Coast. So I grew up in Nairobi. I was born, stayed in Langata for some time before we moved to Zima. We've lived in Mirama for the longest time. Yeah, my dad left me here in Zima and went to Mombasa because that's where he built. So nimebaki Zima, so I'm representing Zimmerman, or rather Roysambu. My school, should I also mention like the baby class one? I went to, my primary school. I went to St. Mary's Ruaraka School. I love those people. And then high school, I went to Butere Girls. in Kakamega. And it was in Butere where I think I actually found the interest in film, because I was in drama, and people don't understand why I was in drama and not music club. So I had the opportunity to be trained by Cleophas Malala, the current senator. so tunamjanga kama Cleo. So I guess I it's weird because I was in drama, we went to East Africa, and I was not interested in theater but film. But his scripting, for me, I think it's the scripting. His scripts were so deep and so interesting, and I couldn't believe someone could literally sit down and tell a story visually, because I'm a person who doesn't like reading. Okay, I prefer audiobooks and podcasts, but reading for me, apana. So I used to find it so interesting to watch Cleo's plays. And in the back of my head, I was asking myself, this is a stage play, so what if it could be a film? This script executed in a film form. So that's what drove me to. And of course, Maria Okoth, I don't know if you guys know her. Maria Okoth, she's the one who put me to drama. So from Butere Girls, so Maria, thank you. I didn't want to go to Butere at first. I wanted to go to Limuru, and I remember my dad told me, if you want to go to Limuru, you have to work for it. I worked for it, but they called me to Butere. I remember I didn't want to go to Butere Girls because I didn't know the school. I had not picked it. But when I reached Butere, I actually realized this is a very awesome place. Because if I didn't go to Butere, I wouldn't have met so many amazing people that I'm actually working with right now. So I guess I'm the firstborn. Yes, and I have siblings. I have siblings. I can't say. The thing is, being a firstborn, I wasn't prepared. I just thought I was going to be the only child forever, because I was always with my dad, you know. But when there's another kid, that means that attention has to be divided. You can't get all the attention now. So it was quite difficult. But I didn't have a problem. I actually have an autistic brother, and my brother is so musical. I can say he's a genius. My brother, he's supposed to be turning 14, or he turned 14. He's supposed to be turning 15. He's supposed to be turning 15. My brother is supposed to be turning 15. Yes. He's supposed to be turning 15 this year. So I can say, no, I don't want to say my age. So I think it was just the two of us for a long time. And I love my brother. So I guess he used to fascinate me a lot, because for an autistic kid, he's different. But I could listen to him. He used to compose a song. There's a song he used to sing. I think to date, my dad and I cannot forget that song. He used to sing it to himself to calm himself down. Because you know they have like the repetitive behaviors and the rocking. But he used to go to a certain corner and he's so quiet and he just sings the song. So I can't say, I was a good kid. I actually have 3 people who have always been in my head. I listened to Louis Armstrong a lot. And I used to tell my dad, huyu mtu anaimba aje. You know, like, Louis Armstrong has a very deep, unique voice. So I listened to Louis Armstrong a lot until I started singing along to his songs. And I actually came to realize that his songs were in so many cartoons that I used to like watching. The other person I used to listen to was Fela Kuti. And and Bob Marley. And when people came to visit, they used to ask my dad, which kind of music are you making a kid listen to? And he was like, she loves it. Like, that's what she's listening to. So I listen to a lot of people. I listen to Jonathan Butler. I've listened to so many people, and but mostly it was around jazz. So I think I grew up around jazz. The only reggae I listened to was Bob Marley, because I think that's the only song, that's the only artist I used to hear my dad listening to a lot. So Bob Marley, Ella Fitzgerald, Yeah, the likes. There are so many, I can't remember. I also grew up listening to Yusundu, Lokua Kanza. Who else was this guy? This other guy. There are so many. I can't remember all of them. Who else did I listen to? I don't know their names, honestly, but I know their songs. There was TMK. There was TMK. I said TMK. Now me, those guys, you know. I listened to, locally. He said locally. Nameless. Wow, who was his name? I don't know. Nyota Ndongo. Jumatutu. Oh my god. Camp Mula. I listen to my people. I listen to, okay, for the bongo, I think I just grew up around Alikiba, and there's this guy. There was TID, there was Becca, there was Barnaba, there was Mr. Nice. Hey, I listened to those bongo way, and of course my grandmother used to listen to a lot of Rose Muhando. So I listened to Rose Muhando too. Yeah, I think there are so many, but I can't remember their names. Yeah, those are the people I listened to. I was in class 4. It was either class 4 or class 3. And there was a family member, a distant family member, who was having a wedding. And like they had told my dad to be the band that performs at the wedding. So my dad called me. They used to rehearse at home. So my dad told me, I want you to sing. I want you to sing this song on this day. So I have been singing, but that was my first encounter with a band. I have been watching, and the song he picked for me was Twatembea. I don't know if it's called Twatembea, but it's by, what's her name? What's her name? Oh my god, I had the name. What? The one who sang, Moyo unapasuka nikisikia sauti yako. What's her name? Atemi. Yes, Atemi Diva. Oh my god, how could I? So yes, I sang Twatembea by Atemi, and I rehearsed. I remember I rehearsed for a week, every day after school at 4, and on weekends I rehearsed at around 10. It was that serious, so I sang, and it was just one song. But I guess my dad wanted me to learn the stage presence and everything.
Same song.
Yeah, and I actually had that's the only song I performed, and I did it so well, and I have photos. And I was so happy. So I guess that's from then, it's when I started like taking it seriously. I was like, okay, I can actually do this. I have two of his songs that stuck in my head and that I was actually present. The first one is Sukari. I remember, I don't know when it happened, when the recording happened, but I remember this day we went to a producer to listen to the song. It was just me, him, and I guess some other friends of his. And the other one was Undugu. Undugu by, my dad sang it with this other artist. Don't remember his name. But the Undugu one, he has done a different version of it now. But it was Undugu sikuzaliwa peke bali Undugu nikufana. That was the second one. And the other one was Nakupenda kama sukari Nakwambia kweli seri. Yeah, that one stuck. There's also another one that was called Kimombasa. I guess that whole album. And there was Tahadhari. Yeah, I remember there was Tahadhari. It used to go like Tamu kama asali sote si twajua lakini ni hatari yaweza kuua. I actually didn't know what that song was about until I was 13, and I was like, oh, he's actually talking about HIV. But the song was so beautiful. Yeah. So yeah, those are the songs I think that stuck in my head. I can actually say from my dad's side, I've interacted with relatives from my dad's side most. And I have actually lived with all of them to some point. I have lived with my aunt Leila. She also sings and dances. That's where I get my dancing from. She sings and she dances. She's really good at dancing. And there was this time they were visiting, 3 of them. So there was Tatu, Leila, and there was Pili. So Pili is the only one who doesn't sing. So Tatu and Leila will always engage me. They will be like, Kidawa, I want you to do this. And my aunt Tatu used to use me as, what do you call? To rehearse. So, because when she goes to Safaricom and they're told like, you have to do this and this, so she's like, I want you to sing this voice, and I'll sing this voice. So I guess they've just been there, we've lived with them, and they've just been amazing people to me. They have taught me a lot. Of course, there were things that my dad couldn't talk to me about, but my aunts were there to talk to me about them and to guide me in so many ways. And to sing and to dance and to take walks. And I also have an uncle, my only uncle. He's called Rajabu. He's my favorite. Okay, he's the only one. So he's my favorite. So I guess they have always been there. And when times when my dad got so busy, at least now, because I had to also let him work, so I had people to be with me during that period. So yeah. Oh, my mom is amazing. I can say I haven't lived with her for a long time, and she didn't abandon me or something. It was just she just hasn't been there for some time, but we are very close. She's my best friend right now. We are best friends, and she actually can't go 2 days or 3 days without calling me, and she's always telling me, you are greater than what you think you are. So she tells me every day, you can do this, you just have to push harder. She's actually my, I don't know, like, she's my world. I really love my mom. I love you, mom. I guess I didn't get so much time with her, Kitambo, but we are making up for that time. Yes. It feels so recent. When I started doing film, I took a 2-year course, and I told myself I wanted to, music is going to be there, but I really wanted to learn the camera. So I told myself, let me focus on this one thing, and then when I finish, I'll have the skill. So I can, because I didn't want to mix them up. I always felt like they'll always clash, because there'll be school projects, and there's going to be rehearsals, and there's gonna be assignments, and there's gonna be gigs, and there's gonna be classes, and my classes were full-time, Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, every day for 2 years, and we didn't have breaks. So after that, so let's say this year, no, late last year, is August late last year, or in the middle of last year? On August is when I decided, okay, now I have gotten my skills, so I want to now go back and do music. And I told myself, from August to this year, what I'll be doing is listening to very many people, interact to as many people, with as many people as possible, get to learn from different people, so that I can find now and create a team, obviously, because I had a talk with Mutoria once during Folk Fusion, and he told me, when you create a team, it becomes easier. So I can say last year. Last year, August is when I was like, I want to do music. And it was difficult doing film because people couldn't understand, because I've always been singing in the corridors and people are like, why are you not doing music? And I'm like, it gets tiresome to explain to someone, to explain to different people the same thing. And some of my film classmates used to tell me, Kidawa, I feel like you'll do better. You'll do better in music. I think music is the thing for you. And they're excluding the film part. And I'm like, what's happening? I'll do both, but just let me do this. But now I'm doing both and I'm happy. For my project, I am working and hoping to release my EP by the end of August or early July, August, September. August or September. I can say when I started to do music, I had several people around me. I can say like my team, the form of my team. I had several people who've been there. I have someone like Edu, he goes by Tajio. I have someone like Ochiko. Yes, I have someone like Ochiko, and I had Wanjine. Those are the three people that were telling me, because they've been there for some time, so like, this is what should be done, this is how it goes, this is how you do this. And of course my dad. So my dad has always been there, ever. So I can say I have been around it, but I hadn't like sat down and told myself, okay, you understand what I'm trying to say. So all I can say is I'm still learning and having people around me like Kina Mutoria, Kina Victor, a bass player called Victor. These are the people that I think are my team. And Sami K, there are so many people. There's Sami K, there's Wangiha. I think I choose them because we are tunambiwa, use what you have for the people who are around you, and those are the people who are around me. So yeah, so those are the people that are around me, and I do not mind learning from other people if they are there, but so far I think I'm in good hands. I am in good hands. I can say I have mentioned some. What?
First of all, did you need support? God bless.
Is there someone who doesn't need support? I don't think there's. Okay, I don't know.
You never know. Self-sufficiency is a thing.
I can say I don't even know. Because so many people ask me, why haven't you done a song with your aunt? And I'm like, it has never occurred to both of us to go to studio. It has not occurred yet, but I can say so far, I'll say Furaha. Furaha, La Music Junkie. She actually curated the Roysambu Festival and she made me a part of it, without forgetting the amazing Nyawera Muziki. Nyawera has also been, Nyawera is someone I have literally grown listening to from Tusker Project fame and she's always been there. Every time I needed to ask a question, anytime I needed assistance on something, I can just call Nyawera and she'll pick and she'll tell me, this is how you do it. She will even take time and like send a paragraph or send a voice note. So another person I can say is Erosh, because Erosh, Furaha got to know me through Erosh. So I can say for someone who has not heard me sing at all and like just gives my name to someone and like, you're looking for artists, take Kidawa. I think that means a lot. And of course Mutoria. He doesn't know it, but
No.
he's influencing me in a lot, because the talk that we had during Folk Fusion might sound just like a little thing, but it really triggered me. I am not so sure even if he remembers what he said, but it triggered me. And I have so many people. I can say I'm grateful. I don't take it for granted to have people and friends. You know what wanasemanga, your friends are your friends, but when it comes to such things, they go. But I think I found family in my friends, and the people around me have just been so supportive. And like my dad says, undugu si kuzaliwa pekee, ni kufaana na wananifaa. So I can say a lot of people are just behind this, in film, in dancing, in crafts, in singing. I just have a lot of people, because every category has its own people and its own supporters. So yeah, I think how I enjoy my performance has been influenced mainly by the people I have worked with before. I have worked with Nandi. I was her BGV last year. It was, yeah, I think it was December 25th or 26th. I've worked with her, so we did a band, and it was amazing because it had dancers. And I've worked with Jemedari, and it has been band. And I've worked with my dad a lot, and my dad's band is amazing. So I like how they interact with each other and how they deliver music. So I would say, for me, my intentions, I also enjoy mellow sets, the acoustic sets, but the band is just so magical. And for someone who intends to be dancing on stage while singing, I'll prefer my delivery to be, but I think it will depend. It also depends with the setting, but I would prefer band. The live performances are just, for me, live performances are everything. And I've also listened to Tiny Desk concerts a lot. So I think what you interact with it influences you a lot. So my best performance on stage was Safaricom Jazz Festival 2017. Was it 2017 or 2018? I performed with my dad on stage, and I was so happy. It was the same concert which Manu Dibango came. So being on the same stage as Manu Dibango for me was wow. I think my other best moment. My best moment was recent. My dad had a performance with the British Council, and so I had to sing with him. It was not planned, but it was amazing. My worst, I have several. Screeching in the middle of a performance, or just losing a note. For me, it makes me feel, because listening to all these people and being around people who literally don't mess up on stage, so you feel that pressure. And sometimes it happens because of tension. I am always tensed when I go on stage, like for the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, until I start getting the feel of the stage. Everything changes, and I'm like, okay, I'm confident, now I can sing. But I can say my worst moment is just screeching on stage. I can't recall something that is one instance that is so bad, but yeah. I can say an opportunity I don't know if it's an opportunity or but growing up in a musical family and having musical friends, and also I don't know, working with Helen Tawali for me was it meant a lot, because I was always seeing her on TV and how she was curly, but when I got to work with her, she taught me so many things that were not just based on vocals, but she taught me about stage presence, about commanding stage. And then my dad has taught me how to work with people, how to accept people for who they are, how to work with different people, different stages, how to, I think everyone. And then my aunt is always telling me about your confidence. You are better, you're so good. Siukubali to just claim it, So I can say that those are the opportunity. I have had people around me to guide me and hold my hand, and people to learn from, and also seeing so many artists like live. For me, it's also an opportunity that I also don't take for granted. Hata kama nimelipa ticket, but just being there to see, for me, is a big thing. I worked with the Roysambo Festival, and I've worked with Roysambo Culture Festival. Those are two different. I think those are the people I've worked with. The other corporates, I have worked with them through my dad, so I can say it has been a personal level. And I've also worked with NIMPA. I've worked with Nairobi Institute of Performing Arts, to both professional level and other instance. Cannot think of. But I'm looking forward to working with other corporates. I can say, now here, I'm going to talk. Okay, apart from singing, I'm also a voiceover artist. So I have done voiceovers. Like my lecturer once just said, your voice can be used for voiceovers. In case you didn't know, now I have told you. So I've done voiceovers for my institution, and they have been doing adverts with it. I can also say my art in terms of cinematography has given me opportunities in my school. I don't want to talk about all of them, but my skill with the camera has given me so many opportunities and chances and a leeway in my institution, because if I ever wanted to do something with the school equipment or the resources, it has been easy because of the work that I do.
Your reputation.
Yeah, my reputation and my works, and of course my work is good because of them, because they are the ones who taught me. So it's practically the work of their hands. Something else that I can say has given me an opportunity is being rewarded by my art. I don't know, they are not coming. Oh, my money has come from music and script writing. Oh yes, actually yes, I can say like when we're using percentages, I can say like 70% music, and then is it? No, I don't know, but I think it depends with someone. With what you decide or what you put into your head, if you decide that this is going to be what I'm going to work for and live for, it actually does. Because I have grown up with my dad, and everything has been music. Because to the person I have become today, from everything that every parent does for a kid, everything that my dad has done for me has been because of music. Either making music or teaching music or living music. And I can also go to my aunt and say she did music for the most of the time as the main thing, even though now she has embarked on other businesses. But I just think it depends. It depends. If you put your mind to it and decide this is what I want to do, you can actually do it. But if you have an opportunity to do other things, you can also do other things. Because, okay, this is going to be out of context. It's not music, but I know someone like LeBron James is a professional basketball player, but he has also had other businesses. And if I'm not wrong, he said that for him to make it to being a billionaire right now, it's because of business. So it depends. For me, I think it just depends. I would say, how will I put it? We know, like the industry, we know it's usually shaky at some point, but time comes. If you keep doing your craft, for me, I believe like your craft and your hard work will always pay off. It will always pay off. It might take some time, but it will pay off. So that's what I can say. And be aware, because there are people who make music and they don't know how to maybe earn from it, or they don't know how to, I don't know, or their music is being used somewhere and they are not aware of their do you call it, intellectual property rights and stuff. I feel like if you want to get into the music and if you want to do it like professionally, be aware of what you want to achieve and get people to guide you. That's the same thing I had Nyashinsky say during a workshop, the Gig Dynamics workshop. He was asked the same question and that was his response. Just be the proper people, the right people, know what you want and it's gonna work out. I think it depends. It depends with where you are at. Because there are people who perform music and they're actually really good, but they don't know the theory of it. Me, I did theory. I did music theory and I'm doing performance. But there are people who are so self-taught and they don't know the theory part. But for the music business, just goes back to your previous question, if you're doing music for the business, you have to learn how to do it. So it's important for you if you want to do it for the business. I also think now, even if you're doing it for passion, it will just end up being business. So I think it's important to have, if you can have all three, because I know for the longest time, my dad didn't go to a music school. He taught himself. He was taught by Zengala and Nashon, and he's been playing saxophone for the longest time before, because he actually went to school 2013, if I'm not wrong, to study the theory. But he's playing the guitar, he's playing the drums, he's playing the saxophone, even though he's just majored on the saxophone. So I can say the theory part depends with you. If you want to do it, it's inategemea. But for me, I think all three are important. For me. Yeah. For me. Can someone say all? Talented. Yeah, that one sounds like so much braggy. So I can say I am talented. Yeah. Skilled. Something like the camera I learned. So that's a skill I acquired. And the dancing, those are also skills I learned. My dad will always say, you can improve on your talent and then work on your skills, because skills are important. He always says skills. Having a different skill doesn't make you not satisfied with what you have. It just improves everything you're doing. So I can say I've acquired skills. I've worked, because working hard for me is practice. So, yeah. What was the other one? Hardworking, talented. All. Passionate. Yes, I'm passionate. I am passionate. I am passionate about everything that I do. I do everything. If I decide to do this, I do it with all my heart. I don't do it because hapa kumekosekana monies. So we do this to cover up for this. I do them purely because I'm passionate about all of them. I don't do one as a result of the other one failing. I'm getting started. I am just getting started. So if we have another interview later, maybe I'll have a different story to tell. But yes, why not? No, biashara can be in so many terms. It's just not only performing. There's the music composing part of it for the films and scoring. It's wide. Music is so wide. So biashara can come in so many. Helen Tawali says anyone can sing. And I believe anyone can sing because I have literally had some friends of mine who couldn't sing, but they say they want to sing, so anybody can sing. I think also Cheryl Potter says the same thing. She's a vocal coach. I think anyone can sing. It's possible. You can do anything. If you want to, if you put your mind to it, you can. Just something. Yeah, anyone can sing. I don't want to mention a name, but the person is a very great vocalist right now. And you wouldn't tell.
Like watching.
Yeah, but right now, probably singing better than myself. So anyone can sing.